What's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, or if you guys are new here, my name's Nathan and I cover a lot of content on dropshipping, e-commerce, and just how to make money online in general. And so the purpose of today's video is to inform you guys on if dropshipping is dead moving into 2021. And in short, if you just want to stick around and hear the answer, I'm about to say it right now, dropshipping is not dead. I've just started this new store literally 4 weeks ago, and as you can see, this is $27,000 on the dashboard. If that focuses, which is a pretty substantial amount of money right off the bat. So I just really wanted to show that store to prove to you guys that dropshipping is not dead. However, there are a lot of things that we have to do differently to maintain success in the market as marketers as well as dropshippers moving into 2021. And these things are going to come in the form of so many different methods, tactics, and tricks and tips. And one of the major issues that's brought this upon us is the iOS 14. So if you guys have been keeping up to date with the dropshipping community, you would know that Apple's new software update is basically going to allow people to opt out of being tracked by Facebook. There's going to be a pop-up that looks something like this. And that will basically allow people to not be tracked, which will make it very, very difficult for us as dropshippers and marketers to gain customer data to then season our Facebook pixel and then bring in more high converting customers to our website. Also, the winner of last week's consulting call was Creative Cam. So shoot me a message on Instagram and we'll get right in the works of setting up your call. And the same thing applies for this week's video. All you got to do is like the video, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel to be automatically entered in the draw to win a one-on-one private coaching call with me. And I will be announcing it next week on my next video. And just before we get started, I'm recording on Boxing Day today, so I hope you guys had an absolutely amazing Christmas yesterday. I had a great time just spending time with my family inside, nothing too crazy, but I hope all of you guys have had a chance to enjoy the holidays as much as you could and are looking forward to the new year. Anyways, so the first thing that we need to cover is dropshipping dead? And so if you don't know what dropshipping is, first of all, dropshipping is a business model. I am personally a big fan of it, especially when getting started with building a brand, building a company, building an e-commerce website. And basically, your store, you place orders through a supplier, which then ships them directly to an end customer. And you essentially keep that money in between. So if the customer, pays $50 for a product and then the product only costs you $20 from the supplier, then in short, you'd keep that $30. And that's kind of what dropshipping is in a nutshell. But basically moving along here, there's good and bad dropshippers. And so what I mean by this is there's people who are in the dropshipping model in the industry and they're doing absolutely everything right. They're taking really good care of their customers. They have lots of good customer surveys, customer experience, customer support, all that stuff. And they actually are providing high quality products and providing value in people's lives. Now there are bad dropshippers too, and bad dropshippers can come in the form of many different things, from having scammy websites to false or misleading claims to not even shipping out the product or to lying about what they're selling. And there's just so much more, which makes it very, very hard for good dropshippers to succeed because there's just so many bad dropshippers that are plaguing the industry and causing so many consumers headaches that they become very skeptical of working with any dropshippers in general when it comes down to them placing an order. So the first thing that we need to discuss here is that consumers are becoming more aware of dropshipping, and going into 2021, this is going to be a common theme. Just dropshipping has exploded over the past year, 2020, and with the whole situation that's been going on in our world, it's really brought e-commerce and dropshipping and ordering products online to a lot more light than ever before. And so, of course, with that, naturally, your everyday consumers are becoming more aware of this business model, and they're actually starting to figure out, why would I buy this product for a higher price when maybe I can go on AliExpress or some sort of cheaper website and order it? So you have to be careful of that as well. And consumers are expecting more and more. So again, in the day and age of Amazon Prime, it's going to be very hard for your dropshipping store to have success if you don't have fast shipping, if you don't have good customer service, if you don't actually, sell quality products that are going to provide value in people's lives. And just basically everything across the board in your business has to be top tier, or a lot better than it was in previous years as a dropshipper in order to have success. That being said, there is going to be more opportunity to sell than ever before. And the e-commerce sales worldwide has been experiencing exponential growth over the past few years, and 2020 has basically accelerated us a couple years into the future in terms of e-commerce and shopping online. And from here on out, it'll continue to make up a very large portion of retail expenditures. Now, the main issues with dropshipping that we have to discuss is shipping. So many people will have complaints about poor shipping times or long shipping times, holds, delays, all that kind of stuff. And this is a very hard issue to avoid when dropshipping because, traditionally you're going to start out dropshipping from China, and obviously moving products from China to an end consumer in the US, if that's the main market for you, is going to be very expensive. It's going to take a long time, and it's just not a very ideal situation for you as a business owner or for the customer on the other end. Now, there are some ways to combat this, and one of those being you could get into a US warehouse as quickly as possible, which is what I try to do, but we'll talk a bit more about that as we get into this video. And then we got customer support. So that's another major issue. People just having complaints about, when they email you, when they're asking where their product is, asking for their tracking info, all that, and you not being able to respond to them quickly is going to cause a huge issue and cause for concern for your customers. And the next is low quality products. So, if you're selling some crap product from China that you never tested, you never looked at, doesn't actually provide value or doesn't do what it says it's supposed to do, then that is an issue and you need to be looking into that. And then scammy sites and ads, and lots of pop-ups, urgency, tactics, etc. This stuff just gets annoying. Quite frankly, you look at big companies like Apple, you don't see Apple popping up all this crap, spin this wheel to, earn 50% off your next iPad. You just don't see that from big, well-established brands, and people really trying to create a good customer experience. You see this from a lot of scammy, general dropshipping type websites as opposed to, good brands. So that's something to keep in mind moving forward as well. And then, of course, the last one is going to be false claims, stolen content, misrepresentation, all of that stuff. And this stuff can actually land you in a bit of legal trouble or some hot water. And, trust me, I've been down this road before. Not that I was trying to scam anyone per se, but, it's just I didn't know. I didn't have the knowledge before. I never ordered products when I was first getting started. I never did quality check or quality assurance. I kind of just, went off of what the supplier was telling me, and that always, more or less, that isn't the right thing to do. You want to order the product. You want to, actually try it first. Get people to have real reviews on it, get real feedback, as opposed to just jump the gun and basically fabricate all the information on your product, which is obviously not what you want to do moving into 2021. And so just talking a little bit about shipping here, so like I was saying, Amazon Prime is the new expectation. So that type of fast shipping, 1 to 3 days, is what's standard now. People are ordering a lot of products all the time on Amazon, and so if you can't have shipping within that time, or maybe a little bit more, we get it. Amazon is really good at what they do, but I'd say if you can't get your shipping times down to between 3 to 7 days, how are you going to be a successful and thriving brand moving forward? It's very difficult. So fast shipping is a must for me. And ideally, you want that shipping to be insured and tracked as well for peace of mind and comfort for the customer. And then the last thing to touch on is the USA warehousing. So basically, my philosophy is I'll start out in China and I'll just drop ship the product using an express line. So, it might take anywhere from 7 to 10 days for my first initial customers when I am starting a new store. And then once I see some validation, once I see some orders coming in, maybe it's a couple $1,000s in sales and orders, then I'll be like, okay, I need to get this into the US as soon as possible. So I have a few US warehouses set up with a 3PL company, but I also have a really good agent and supplier that I've been working with for a long time in China who has her own warehouse in the US as well. So I often do things that route as well. And if you guys are interested, if you're doing, anywhere from 15 to 20 plus orders per day at the minimum, feel free to contact me. You can message me on Instagram or DM me or whatever and just type the word supplier, and I will get back to you with some information if you wanted to get a quote and look at potentially fulfilling through one of my suppliers. Next on the list here, we got customer support. And so Customer support is an extremely overlooked aspect, especially if you're doing a lot of sales and you have a lot of traffic coming to your website. Naturally, there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of people emailing you. So you need to train and hire good VAs who can do this. And there's a couple different websites such as Fiverr or Upwork. I'll have them linked down below, where you can look at getting freelancers who are able to do the job for you at relatively cheap rates. Which is really good because you can, maintain most of the profit in the business and then start to, pay a couple virtual assistants to go in and do all this work that's taking you a lot of time in your day to do properly. And then, low feedback scores comes out of having poor customer support too. And low feedback scores can actually tank your entire business. And what I mean by this is Facebook basically has a threshold where if you fall below a 2.0 in terms of customer satisfaction, then you're not really allowed to advertise on Facebook anymore, which absolutely sucks and it can tear your business apart. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people I know. So you want to make sure you have VAs, solid customer support, and everything else is good so you don't fall under that threshold. And then we have, of course, chargebacks and bad reviews. So these things inevitably happen when you're lacking customer support. People are going to charge back on their product if they don't hear from you. People are going to leave nasty reviews, terrible comments, which are also going to rip apart your business and make it very difficult for you to stay afloat and succeed amongst all the competition coming into 2021. Next on the list here, we got product quality. So again, product quality can cause you a lot of problems, of which including chargebacks, bad reviews, again with the bad feedback, and also legal trouble. If you're making claims about these products that don't actually exist, and then you sell these products, or for example, you sell faulty products, if you're selling electronic products, they could potentially blow up or have issues using it that might cause harm to somebody. Those are all major causes for concern. I remember there was a product that was really successful a couple of years ago with dropshipping and just e-commerce in general, and that was the hoverboard. I don't know if you've heard of that at all. And so there was some of these hoverboards that were coming from cheap factories in China, and they were actually blowing up and potentially causing damage to individuals who are using it as well as their property, which was just terrible, and I'm sure it caused a lot of legal issues for people selling this product. So you have to make sure that your product quality is up to par before you sell any of your products. Now next we got scammy sites and scammy marketing efforts. And so all the things included here are going to be annoying pop-ups, lots and lots of urgency marketing tactics. And don't get me wrong, I do use urgency tactics. I do for sure use pop-ups, but I pick and choose my battles with them. I use them at the right times of the month or the right times of the year, depending on what type of sales we got going on. I use them depending on the demographic. Typically, I find older people, anywhere from like 45, 55 plus, tend to fare better with these pop-ups and marketing tactics rather than the younger generation. That's just something that I've found based on statistics and data looking at my advertisements and when I split test things. And also you want to check on your offer. So I'm going to tell you this tip right now. Stop with the 50% off plus free shipping. This offer is absolutely everywhere. Every single dropshipper and their mom is putting this offer onto their website, and it just gives you a terrible feel when somebody loads up your website and they see that, more or less moving into 2021, they're instantly going to think dropshipper and they're going to steer clear of your site. So next, we got custom professional product photos and lifestyle images. So this is something you absolutely have to have. It's just a must, and I use it on pretty much every single site that I have, unless I'm in that initial test launch phase where I'm just validating the product, just seeing if I can get a few sales with it. I will quickly reinvest once I make my first few sales into ordering the product in myself, taking product photos, or ordering it to a freelancer on Fiverr, Upwork, having them do professional photos, getting lifestyle images. Sometimes that's just me and my business partner, or me and a couple buddies, and we go out with the camera and we just take a few photos of the product, and that's very sufficient when starting out as well. And then custom video ads kind of goes hand in hand with that as well. If you're getting custom content for the product, photos, lifestyle images, all that stuff, you might as well get custom video ads too, because that's where you can see a dramatic increase in your return on ad spend if you have really well done ads, as opposed to the cookie cutter Facebook ads that you see every dropshipper and their mom using. Next, we have false claims and stolen content. So You want to maintain full transparency with all of your customers in regards to shipping times, in regards to product quality, what your product can do for them, all of these things. If you're not, it's going to come back to bite you, especially when you start doing a lot of revenue. When things really start picking up, people are really going to look into this, and it could cause you a huge headache and huge, hassle, legal trouble potentially moving forward. And so same thing goes for stolen content. You want to make sure that the content you're using is original or that you're allowed to use it. And sometimes, if you're pulling content from AliExpress, Alibaba, other Chinese supplier websites, what happens is sometimes the supplier will rip content off another well-established brand, and then you might unknowingly use that. That's happened to me, and then land in some real hot water from that. So make sure you always do a few background checks. Make sure the content that you're using, you are actually allowed to use it. And then, of course, just having honesty and integrity is one of the biggest pieces of running a business, and just in life in general. It's really important to, be honest and have integrity in everything you do, and not just in business. And then your brand image as well. If you're putting up false claims and stolen content and, all these things, how do you think that's going to affect your brand? If you're growing this as an e-commerce brand or a long-term thing, as soon as people catch word of this, it's going to spread, and it's going to spread like wildfire. If you're, a massive corporation like Apple and something happens, then that'll be, publicized, and that'll be absolutely everywhere. Everybody will hear about it. Obviously, on a smaller scale, you won't reach that many people, but out of the people who are shopping from you, chances are they'll do a little bit of research and they'll figure out your company's unethical, or you're making a bunch of these claims that don't exist, and that's just really going to hurt you moving forward. And so I guess my last kind of bonus tip for this little presentation here is to always experiment with the price. And this is because lower price doesn't always mean more conversions. In fact, a lot of times I find the opposite. Actually, I find that when I raise the price on a product, I'll actually get more conversions, as long as it's a premium product, as long as my marketing and my brand experience and everything is really, really good. Because, people have this weird tendency to think that the higher price something is, the more premium and the more quality it is. Because a lot of times, it is true, but sometimes it's not true. But yeah, the things that you can control, besides, what price people are willing to pay for your product, is having great branding, great marketing, high perceived value, and exceptional customer service and a customer experience. If you nail all of these things, I guarantee you will be able to sell your product at a healthy margin, and you'll be able to increase your product as your brand grows. Just again, look at Apple. They're charging, I don't even know what it is, $1,500 now for a phone. That phone probably doesn't cost them too much to make, but they can charge that, and they deserve to charge that because of the massive brand that they've built, and people are willing to pay that price. In fact, they want to pay that price for an Apple iPhone. And so it's all about the branding. And going into 2021, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is leave some of the old traditional dropshipping methods in the past, and look towards creating a real sustainable e-commerce brand and caring about absolutely every single aspect within the business, all the way from the customer service side of things to the actual product quality itself, the shipping, the marketing, the ads, making sure your site isn't scammy. All of these things are going to be super important and play an integral role in what's going to allow you to have success going forward in 2021. Thank you guys so much for making it the full way through the video. Please don't forget to leave a like on the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to be entered in to win a one-on-one private coaching call with me. And I also have a Facebook group linked down below where I provide tons of resources like winning products and Instagram influencer scripts. So don't forget to sign up there down below, and we'll see you in next week's video. Peace.